Hi there guys, well today we're going to be taking a look at the GIGABYTE P55 V6. This is a stylish 15-inch notebook which, although designed for gamers, it shies away from any flamboyance that you might find with other gaming notebooks, and many will be pleased to know that we have no RGB lighting, which seems to be an increasing trend nowadays. V6 arrives with an Intel Skylake processor, 16GB of DDR4, an M.2 SSD, and more importantly Nvidia's new GTX 1060, and we will be testing that out later in the video. So how much does P55 cost? Well, it is currently on pre-order for around £1,450 in the UK, $1,600 if you're in the States. So it should become clear by the end of our video whether or not we're getting good value for money with this unit today. So stick with us guys as we take a detailed look at this new notebook and as we do some benchmarks there towards the end. Right guys, well we're going to start with the unboxing experience for our P55, and just like the previous generations of this notebook, the V6 arrives in this nicely designed box which has a depiction of the notebook itself. And over on the back it is pretty much the same situation, we just have a picture. So there isn't a lot to talk about really. We do have a spec label there with the serial code, so if in case you need to get in touch with tech support, those are on there. We've got a handle on the top there which comes in handy because if you don't have a laptop bag, then you can obviously pop your notebook into this box and transport it around. Now inside the box we get the notebook there in a fabric sleeve, and it has this foam padding around the outer edges to keep it nice and protected while it is on its way to you. And then we've got these additional items here which are the driver CD with the software, the utilities. We have a copy there of Power DVD 12 that is actually pre-installed on our notebook already. We have the user manual in case you need to refer to that. And then we've got the warranty. Now this comes with a global warranty of 2 years, and that warranty card there will need to be filled out and sent off. And then we have the power pack. Now I just get this out of here. First of all, we have the power pack here, which as you can see is quite a slimline device, and that requires a triple pin connection. And that's why we've got this separate cable here which has that triple pin, and this one here is for the UK because I'm located in the UK. So depending on your location you will get a cable there which marries up with that device. So here is our P55. Now like previous generations, the V6 adopts a refined, elegant and subtle aesthetic. So although this notebook is designed for gamers, many will be elated that we have no RGB lighting and no gimmicks. What you see is what you get. Now the actual dimensions for P55 are 379mm wide, 269mm deep and just 26mm high. And then on the weight, you're looking at 2.6 kilo with a battery. So if you are a traveller and you're perhaps going overseas, and that 2.6 kilo is going to be well within the cabin luggage allocation that you do get. Now casting an eye over the lid of our P55, there is very little to say really. We do have some accents and a metallic emblem, but apart from that, as I said earlier, the design leans towards simplicity. So running down the left edge we have Kensington lock allocation, some ventilation for the GPU, a VGA port, gigabit LAN, a HDMI 2 port, a USB 3.1 Type-C, and a USB 3 port. And it's really nice to see there that we do have that HDMI 2.0 making an appearance, as well as that 3.1 Type-C. That really will come in handy for those newer devices with that interface. And over on the other side we have the headphone and microphone jacks, another 2 USB 3 ports, a DVD drive and a DC in port there which works with the charging unit. So across P55 we have all USB 3 ports. There are no USB 2 ports, which is much better because USB 3 is backwards compatible anyway. At the front we also have an SD card slot reader for getting access to your media files. Now while we do have the option to get a network connection with a cable, we also have the wireless support too. So P55 arrives with 802.11ac and Bluetooth 4.1. So we get the faster standard there for the Wi-Fi, which will help you with the transfer rates. Flipping the notebook over, we have 5 rubber feet to provide a bit of stability on shiny exteriors, and we have 3 ventilated areas that are marked out which give the components a chance to breathe. Towards the front we have 2 designated speakers, and we have a series of labels which give you the serial numbers should you need to get in contact with tech support. Now since we are around the back, let's take out those screws and lift off the panel for a look at the components. So at the very heart of P55 we have the Intel Core i7-6700HQ, which is a Skylake quad-core processor which has a base frequency there of 2.6 GHz and which turbo boosts up to 3.5. For the graphics delivery, we have NVIDIA's GTX 1060 inside our P55. Now, the mobile GPUs for the GTX 10 series launched just a few weeks ago, and what you're going to get with the 1060 is essentially the same specifications as a full-size 1060. So you get the same 1280 CUDA cores, the same 8GB memory bandwidth, the same 6GB GDDR5, and the same 192-bit interface. And this is unheard of because in the past there have been cutbacks and modifications between desktop and the mobile versions. The only difference between this and the desktop card is the base clock, which is around 100 MHz less on the mobile chip, but then the turbo boost pulls things back. So pretty impressive stuff, and later on we're going to test out the performance of this chip. To cut down on noise, Gigabyte has combined the cooling solution for the CPU and the GPU. So those heat pipes run off the same heatsink and a single cooling fan. And again, later on, we'll have a look and see how efficient that cooler is. For the system memory, we have 16GB of crucial DDR4, which operates at 2133, and that should give us ample capacity there for demanding tasks like photo editing. Now, for the storage allocation, we have two drives. The primary drive, which hosts the operating system, is a Lighton M.2 SSD. The model of that drive is the CV3, and it offers 256GB, and later on we're going to see what kind of transfer rates that drive supplies us with. And for the bulk of the storage, we have an Hitachi Travel Star, which is 1TB, it is 7200 RPM, and that drive is mechanical. You'd use it for larger files like your music, your movies, and games. The battery inside P55 is a 6-cell unit, and it is a permanent fixture. The battery is going to offer you between 3 to 4 hours with light usage, and watching a movie or playing a game will alter that, and it will give you around 2 hours. Power saving does still apply with mobile GPUs, so you will get better performance there connecting that power pack anyway. Okay, so if we open up our notebook, we have a 15.6-inch display, which is IPS, and that offers up to full HD. That is 1080p resolution. That is ideal really, given that we have a 1060 on board. And having used this display for extended periods of time, we can definitely vouch for it being sharp, vibrant and clear. Just above the display, we have a 720p webcam with a microphone there that will come in handy if you're wanting to perhaps do a video call with an application like Skype. And since we have the screen opened out, we now get access to the keyboard area. So above the keyboard, we have the power button there, which looks rather lonely on its own, as there are no extra buttons or anything along that top section. So that keyboard uses a QWERTY design, but it does use a condensed layout, but still retains that numpad functionality. Those keys are tactile and they offer nice responsive feedback. And the other thing to note is that we do have LED backlighting on those keys, allowing for the incremental adjustment to the brightness. And then finally we have the touchpad, which blends into the palm area. This touchpad is a little off center with its placement, and it is quite large in size. In terms of usability, motion is smooth and it responds very well. The left and right clickers there are integrated, so you don't have any independent buttons. And just below we have respective LED indicators for activity, battery and the like. Okay, so we've taken a detailed look at our notebook, and it's about time now that we performed a few benchmarks to see exactly how capable this machine really is. So we're going to do a boot into Windows 10 Pro, which our P55 comes bundled with, and we're going to see what the read and write performance is like for that M.2 drive, and then we'll run PC Mark 8. I'm also going to run a number of games: Deus Ex Mankind Divided, Hitman, The Witcher 3 and Doom. And in the background, while everything is running, we're going to monitor the CPU and the GPU temperatures, and towards the end of the video we're going to do a quick reading of the noise while the system is loaded, just to give you guys a bit of an idea of how loud and how noisy this notebook is. Okay, so first of all, let's boot P55 and see how quick we get into Windows 10 from a cold boot. Okay, now that we're in, let's run Crystal Disk Mark to get an idea of the transfer rates from that SSD. And it's now time to run our game, so we're going to use 1080p. I'm going to crank those detail presets up to ultra. So with Doom still running, we're going to get a quick reading of that cooling fan noise. Okay, and throughout all of those tests we had real temp and GPU-Z running in the background to pick up on the maximum temperatures, and here they are. Okay, well that is the new GIGABYTE P55W V6. So as you've seen, quite a stylish, quite a understated type of theme going on with this notebook, which I'm sure many will love. And based on the specifications for this notebook, with that quad-core Skylake chip, the 16 gig of DDR4 and that GTX 1060, we have some pretty good performance on offer. And whether that is, talking about day-to-day type of tasks, or when you jump into the gaming arena. Now the frame rates are very similar to what you would kind of get with a desktop full-sized 1060. The numbers are slightly less because the lower clock speed with the mobile unit. And we did check actually whether hitting that 90 degrees, over the 90 degrees, would cause thermal throttling, and remarkably it doesn't. So the cooler, which combines the CPU and the GPU, isn't as effective as we'd have hoped. Nevertheless, our P55 is still a very capable machine. Getting the results that it does is an achievement in itself for a mobile system. So this notebook, it comes with some great features. We've got the dual storage devices, the M.2, the HDMI 2.0, all USB 3, and a really decent IPS panel. One area though I think could be improved is that LED backlighting on the keyboard. It's a superficial type of addition. Even on the brightest setting, it kind of makes very little difference. So guys, if you are after the full benchmark suite, please head over to the full review, which is going to be on the screen in the description very soon. In this video, we've only been able to show a small selection of the tests on offer. So thanks for watching today, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. Please continue to support the channel by subscribing, and I'll see you guys next week.